Yesterday was 4th of July, hence the red, white, and blue that I'm wearing underneath. And I'll show you guys where I'm at right now physically as far as appearance goes. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited because I've been waiting 12 weeks for this. I am 12 weeks post-op, which means I am fully recovered from the internal bra. So if you guys have not been following along and you're new to the channel, welcome. There's tons of videos on my breast augmentations, and you can definitely go back to the beginning. I've done 1 week post-op, 2 weeks post-op, and so on and so forth. But I haven't done a video in a couple weeks. I've been filming videos, but not breast augmentation specific. I've been able to work out, and I've been getting back into a normal routine, a new normal for me. There are still things that I'm not doing, but I'll get into all of that later in this video. But if you're new to the channel, there's a lot of videos out there, and if I'm missing anything, if you go back and you watch the videos, or if you've been following along the whole time, definitely let me know what I missed and what you want to know, and I will, if it's enough content to put out a whole video on this subject, I'll do so. If not, I will I'll comment back to you and give you the answers that you're looking for. But like I said, I am 12 weeks post-op, which means I am clear to do anything that I want at this point as tolerated. So as far as fitness goes, I'm allowed to run, jump, lift weights. I'm clear. That being said, I don't want to go through this process again and again and again. So I'm being very careful with what I do. I am lifting. My legs feel like they're almost as strong as they were pre-surgery, so that's cool. I've been pushing a lot of weight in the gym, enjoying the process. I'm changing my routine and just enjoying it at this point. But upper body is still very weak, and I'm doing what I feel comfortable with. So I can do bis and tris, shoulders. I have more issues with my shoulder injury versus breast augmentation. But I've been getting back into, my arms don't feel like noodles at this point. At one point I was talking to my friends and I was I feel like I have spaghetti arms, but they are toning back up. So I'm very happy with that. The big thing for me is, yes, I'm allowed to jump around. I am wearing 2 or 3 sports bras at this point in time when I work out. Not for the regular gym where I'm doing machines and stuff, but more for boot camp. I am back in boot camp, and there's a lot of plyometrics. So when there's jumping jacks or star jumps or burpees, I can go into the plank for a burpee, but I'm taking out the push-up. For me right now, I'm just not. I haven't even tried. Maybe I can do it. I'm just not doing it right now. It's just let me move and do me and we'll be good. So I'm not doing push-ups. When I come to the top of a burpee, so I can go into the plank, kick my feet up, and then you jump. For a while, I just was taking the jump out too. Now, when I jump, I just hold myself. So I kick up, come to the top, and I just hold myself, and I jump. And I jump pretty high. I get a full burpee jump in, if you will. I even did a couple box jumps the other day. I didn't rep a ton, but I was just okay, let me see if I can try it. So if I do a 20-inch box, and again, I'm just holding myself and I'm just kind of jumping, I'm able to do it. So I'm being very careful. And same thing with running. I kind of hold the 2 sides of my sports bra real tight to my body and run. And the big joke right now is that we should get me some duct tape so I can just strap myself in harder, just because, not that it feels funny, not that it hurts, I just don't want them to bounce around and move around and do anything that I'm not supposed to. Maybe in the next week or so I'll give myself a little bit more freedom and see how I feel doing those things without holding myself. But right now I feel more comfortable not letting them bounce around. So that's kind of where I am at with fitness. But I do feel like I'm getting back into everything. Oh, and pull-ups. I'm not doing pull-ups right now. I do not feel comfortable with that full, and I'm over the muscle. So I don't feel comfortable with that full extension pulling myself. I can get extension with my arms, but I don't feel comfortable pulling myself up on a pull-up bar yet. I think that's just a lot of stuff happening, and I don't feel comfortable or ready at the moment. If I wasn't so adamant about this being my last surgery, maybe I would be more willing to test the waters in a pull-up. But right now, pull-ups and push-ups, I'm out. Just at the moment. That's just me being honest. Does that mean that is going to be the same for everybody? Absolutely not. Just my situation, because I decided I'm not physically competing anymore, I can take my time and be really, really careful. So that's where I am basically with my fitness. Now, physically, I was actually telling my girlfriends last night, yesterday was 4th of July, hence the red, white, and blue that I'm wearing underneath. And I'll show you guys where I'm at right now physically as far as appearance goes. But I was telling my friends last night that first getting the surgery, my biggest concern was the scar tissue, because we had gone through the nipple. The incision is around the entire nipple. They took the entire nipple off, did all the work, got everything situated, put the nipple back on, and obviously it's not going to lay right. Right being how it looked beforehand. So any surgery, the incision is going to be a little bit sketch for a while. I would say maybe 4 to 5 weeks was probably as long as it looked sketchy, to the point where I was texting my girlfriends that also had gone to Dr. Revis, and I was like, hey, did you have like this incision? Like, so I wanted them lifted. So he had scraped at the top, so he was able to bring them up, and then we went through the nipple to do that. So it's a donut mammoplasty, if I'm saying that right. So donut because round around the nipple. So nobody had the full, that I spoke to anyway, had the full nipple revision. So I was concerned, of course, and I kept telling Chris, like, look at this, what do you think? Do you think it's getting any better? So the big thing was, and this is like a godsend, and I also with my previous surgeries had done this too, the silicone gel, medical grade silicone gel, because you can get like a cheap version of silicone gel at like Walmart or Amazon, but medical grade silicone gel works wonders on incisions. So my instruction from Dr. Revis was to put it around the incision twice a day after showering, which I had done religiously. And I had remembered how important it was to, with any incision, you want to massage or like put pressure around the incision, because you want to break up the scar tissue so it doesn't heal like bumpy and like altered. So I kept doing that. I was going around and just putting pressure every day, twice a day, not exaggerating. So one night I remember I was getting ready for bed, I had showered, went to go put the stuff on, and as I was going around, I felt a little bit of pain. Not pain where I was like, oh my God, I need to see a doctor. It's more like, this was uncomfortable, I don't know what I did, let's just keep an eye on it. It felt like a little bit of popping even, if you will. And we went to bed that night. I woke up the next morning, both nipples looked like I hadn't even had surgery. Like, they were perfect. We couldn't believe it. We were completely shocked and very happy at the same time. So I would say it was about the 4 or 5 week mark, religiously pushing on the incision and making sure that I was breaking up the scar tissue. And then one day I was back to looking normal. So I was really happy with that. I had followed up with Dr. Revis every few weeks. I think it was week 1, week 2, week 3, week maybe 6 or 7, and then at the 12-week mark. So today I actually have to send him an email. The biggest thing that I loved about working with him in his office is when I work with him in his office, I'm working with him. His girls are great. Like, they set up the surgery, make sure all the paperwork's all in line, make sure you know where you have to be, when you have to be there, and all that stuff. Dr. Revis from consultation, he responded to me, I'm not even kidding you, within like 10 minutes. When I send him my emails, like, I assume, like, I know Wednesday is a surgery day for him. Today's a Wednesday, and I'm going to send him an email. And he gets back to me. It's every time I send him an email, it's on a Wednesday. He gets back to me. I'm not even kidding you, within the hour. It's so bizarre. So if I have a question, I have an answer right away, and it's him who's responding. So that's pretty cool. And I've had a couple of friends reach out just recently for consultations with him, and they could not believe the same thing, that he's so responsive, and it's him, and he just paints a real picture for you and makes you feel super comfortable about making a decision to work with him. So that's just a little shout out to him. I appreciate that he is so responsive, because so many doctors, not that there's anything wrong with it, but you end up dealing with their assistant or their the coordinator for surgery and stuff like that. As much as you do work with them, primarily I feel like I was working with him, which is really cool. But as far as where they're at now, I guess I'll show you guys, make sure I'm all covered up. So again, 12 weeks. Again, I'm 12 weeks post-op, and they are still sitting up nice and high. This is like very loose fitted here. They're together. I have a lot of side boob, which is what I wanted. And I mean, they feel like they've softened up a little bit. So I mean, they're firm, definitely firm, but they're definitely softer than they were. So if you never had breast augmentation before, when you first have surgery, they're very, very firm. There's a lot of blood in there. It's a traumatic experience to go through any kind of surgery. So the trauma happens to your chest, so all the blood rushes to your chest. So it's not that the implant itself is rock hard, it's that there's so much blood in the area trying to heal it as quickly as possible. Your body doesn't know that you just had breast augmentation. Your body just thinks there's trauma to this area. Let's rush in and save the day. And that's why it gets hard. And it stays hard for a little while. Hard meaning like you can tell that it's swollen in the area. And then it takes several weeks for it to go down. I would say probably around week maybe 8 to 9 is when I was like, oh, like I think visually the swelling went down. At 10 weeks, we went to Boca Raton and we filmed with Jenna Geary for Blackstone Labs, and we had a ton of content to film. And when we were there at 10 weeks, I was like, I didn't feel like I was showing a lot of swelling. Like I felt like I looked like myself, just with a bigger chest. So I thought that was wonderful. The swelling, I mean, I think it's definitely gone at this point. I feel like they're mine. I feel like they're one with my body. Girls that have had breast augmentation before will know what I mean by that, because there's a very significant period of time right when you come out of surgery that you start to think like, oh, these don't really feel like they're a part of my body yet. Like they feel foreign. And then one day you wake up and you're like, okay, they're part of my body now. Like I get it. They're one with me. So to the point now where I feel like everything I do, I'm used to them now. They're comfortable. I love how they look when I get dressed up. I've done a couple try-on hauls since surgery, and I really am happy with how they turned out. I'm sure you guys will comment below and let me know. And some people think that, they're too big, they're not big enough. Why would you do that to yourself and all? I get it. There are comments and they come in, and I'll respond to them as they come in. But for me, I'm very happy with what he did and what I decided to do. I think I may have told you guys what I said when I went into consultation, but my big thing was I wanted center cleavage and I wanted side boob and I wanted them up. So whatever he had to do to achieve that, and I knew I had to go with a larger implant to achieve the side boob and the center cleavage. And we had an understanding of how big was my limit, and how small my limit was too, because I like to have a chest. I was not blessed as a child, so in my early adult years, realized that this was not going to happen for me. I bought them, and I continue to make them work for me, for lack of a better word. But I am very happy at 12 weeks post-op, and I feel healthy and I feel a lot more like myself. Last thing. Last week, I couldn't take it anymore. So we brought Amos over, owner of Burn Boot Camp Myrtle Beach, and my kickboxing coach. And he obviously sees me every day at Burn Boot Camp. So we had a conversation with him, and we were like, hey, I'm losing my mind. I really want to get back to kickboxing. I didn't think I was going to miss it. I knew I'd miss it because I like routine, but I didn't know I was going to like be losing my mind. So we had him come over on Thursday, and he put me through mostly punches. We introduced some kicks back in. I guess I do more of like a Muay Thai than just kickboxing too, but we did full body on one side, full body punches, reverse. We did threw kicks in. We just threw in some elbows and knees, and everything felt fine. I was in no pain afterwards. The only thing that we did a little differently was I would go through like a round of like punches, and then normally we do some kind of like high intensity cardio for a minute or so in between rounds to get my heart rate jacked up, and then we go back into kicks or punches. And instead of doing all like the plyometric type stuff like jumping jacks, star jumps, hops, stuff like that, we did a lot of things where I wasn't jumping. So we did more like ab work, squats, lunges, but we took all the jumping out. So because I can't really hold myself with mitts on. So, but I was excited, which that was the last piece of me getting back into feeling like completely like myself again. So now we are in a normal routine, and this week we will start up with regular kickboxing training. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are too, to get back to normalcy on the channel. But I hope you guys also really like these videos. If you have any questions, or if you think I missed something, or have a topic that you want me to cover, leave it in the comments. And if it's a good one and I can get a whole video out, I'll make sure to shout you out too. So I hope you guys like the video. Click the little button and let me know, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.